Hello everybody, I am super excited to create this video just because I'll be talking about my new goal for 2025, and that is trying to achieve a low buy year on a low income. So let's get into it. Now, the reason why I am starting this low buying year is because I started to realize how my finances were falling apart in the last year. And that was because I wasn't budgeting properly. I wasn't following with what my spending goals were. I was basically falling off the rails with my money. And so what ended up happening was I started to use YNAB. This is not a sponsored video or anything, but I started to use YNAB. It has definitely changed how I think about money. Because of that, I was able to see where my money was going, where I was spending it. And so there's a lot of fat that needs to be trimmed on my budget. So I decided that 2025 would be a low buy year, because after I kind of looked at my budget for the last 12 months, I was basically throwing my money away on things that I didn't plan for, things that I thought were important but weren't, basically just frivolous things that I felt like could have been avoided if I had planned for my money a lot better. So to give you a bit of context, a low buy year is just a year where you just kind of consume less and be more intentional with your spending. I actually hoard a lot of skincare, and I started to realize because I used to spend like $200 every time we had a sale at the drugstore. At first I was like, oh, like it's okay because I'm actually saving money because it's a sale going on. I'm gonna hoard all these things so I can buy like 3, 4, 5, 6 months worth of products, so I don't have to keep coming back to the drugstore every time my product runs out. I just have everything ready to go. And so I thought that was a smart move until I realized that my smart spending decisions was actually driving me up the wall and driving me through the wall. And what I mean by that was that I wasn't tracking my spending. I thought I was being smart with the sales and everything, but you know, it's one of those things where you think you are saving $50, but no, you actually spent whatever money that you spent. I want to have a mental shift in 2025, and that means that I had to be a lot more strict with the things that I buy and the reasons behind my purchases. So I'm gonna get into what my rules are for my low buy year, and then hopefully this would also inspire you to also follow along on this low buy challenge. I wrote everything in my blue notebook. I just love this color. It's just kind of sad that I am actually running out of pages. Let's get into it anyways. So the first thing that I have are a list of my no buys. So these are the things that I will not be buying in 2025. So the first thing that I wrote down is no new shoes, no new stationery. So this includes pens, notebooks, post-it notes, because apparently when I was cleaning and decluttering my home for the new year, I found so many stationery things that I have not used for like 2-3 years. And so before I'm able to even purchase new ones, I need to use all of those before I'm allowed to spend any more money on those items. The next one would have to be no new socks. I had a lot of socks sent to me by my mom, and we have like 30-40 pairs of new socks that have yet to be used. No new socks in the new year. Next one is no new makeup. I have found the perfect type of makeup for me. I went to get my personal color analysis done. I am a true winter, which means that being able to look for makeup that works for my skin tone and what works well for me was really easy, which means that I don't need to go out looking for the next trendiest makeup because I already know what works for me. And so I'm gonna stick to the usual eyeshadows, eyeliners, foundations, things like that. The last one is no new bag. I have a weakness for bags, especially luxury designer bags, but of course now that I am earning a lower income, that's not going to be something that I'm able to splurge on, even though it might be for my birthday or Christmas. So my low buy year for 2025 will include not being able to buy any new bags unless one of them rips. The last thing that I have written here actually is no new workout clothes. I actually bought a lot of new Lululemon workout clothes because the clothes here in Korea, they just don't fit me. I'm a little bit on the taller side, and so even their largest size tend to like be too tight on me or too short on me. I find Lululemon to be a better quality than what they have here. Even though the quality did decline over the years, it's still better than what we have. And so I invested quite a bit of money into my Lululemon workout clothes, which I got on sale. This year would be a no buy for workout clothes. The next list that I have is my low buy list. Now these are the items that I'm able to purchase as long as I use what I have. So this is including skincare. This is including vitamins. I tend to hoard vitamins like crazy sometimes when it's on sale, but I've also realized that I don't take my vitamins as much as I need to, so that's something that is on my list. The next thing on my low buy list is clothing. I actually realized that I actually have a lot of acrylic and polyester clothing in my closet, which isn't great, so I'll be looking for more natural fibers, things like cotton lining. But I'm also going to be adopting the 1 in 1 out policy, where every time I buy a new piece of clothing, one item has to kind of be donated away from my closet, if that makes sense. So 1 in 1 out, and it helps to kind of reduce the amount of clothing that I have. Every season I try to declutter my clothes, donate whatever I have that I don't use. The amount of clothing that I have does not decrease in size no matter how many times I do that. So I think being more intentional with the clothing purchases that I make will definitely help me and not only be more minimalistic but also save my wallet. The next thing on my low buy list are books. I really got into books because of Book Talk. It really made me fall back in love with reading again, especially fantasy books, but I also spent a lot of money on books, and unfortunately I do live in a very small space, and so even though ebooks are available, I just prefer having the physical book. I'm sure some of you know what I mean. I also need to make sure that I kind of dial back down on my book spending. I have been really good with buying like pre-owned books. However, it does take a lot of space, and I still have a very long to be read list, TBR list. So before I'm allowed to purchase a new book, I'm just gonna be trying to finish my TBR list first, and then that's when I'm able to buy a new book, regardless if it's new or pre-owned. And I've been really good at selling off with the books that I've already read as well. And I will probably be transitioning to an ebook because just the amount of space that I don't have is a problem. So that is my no buy and low buy list, and I'm gonna be actually showing you guys the types of tools and suggestions that people have shared on the internet in regards to how they are going about achieving this low buy year. I personally decided to do a low buy year and not a no buy year just because I feel like a no buy year is very unrealistic for me in my personality. Like, I love to shop and I love nice things, so a no buy year just seems like impossible for me, but give me a little bit of wiggle room and I feel like I can achieve that. So that's why we're doing a low buy year. So here's my plan to create a successful low buy year. So the first thing that I did and am doing is creating a personal inventory, and I started that off with having an inventory of my skincare collection. I tend to go to the drugstore, which is Olive Young for us, and just purchase whatever is on sale or things that I think I need, but that ends up making me spend money that I didn't need to spend, and also just hoarding more skincare. And so what I did was I went through my entire collection of skincare, wrote down the products, the brand names, and the quantity. And so before I even step into a makeup store, I've been looking at my inventory and seeing what I already have before choosing to spend money. And so that has been something that I think will be really effective for me, especially when I'm trying to trim the fat on my budget. The next thing that I'm doing is decluttering. So right now I do have a very clean workspace, and that's just thanks to me throwing out a lot of items that I didn't need or wasn't using. And so through this I was able to sell off a lot of the books that I wasn't reading anymore or not using. Being able to be in a space with less stuff is very mentally refreshing. So I'm still in the process of decluttering my space, but it's a work in progress, but it has already such positive effects on my mental health. The next thing is sell over donation. So normally I would just donate the books that I have. I actually do have quite a few books, and I was able to make a little bit of money back just from selling it to the community here in Korea. I actually had an old MacBook that you probably seen in my previous videos that I've actually sold to another business here in Korea. So even though I didn't receive a lot of money for it, I was still able to gain something back and be able to still get rid of that. Now the next few items are things that I've collected from other users' posters. These are not my ideas, but these are ideas that I found that were really amazing, and so I just wanted to share with you guys. So the first one was for every no spend day to give yourself $20 and just put it into savings. So if you were going to spend $20 that day in your old life, save that $20, the money that you would have spent anyways, and put it towards savings or investing. Another one is always looking at fibers, and if it's more than 20% of the acrylic, plastics, polyester, things like that, if it's more than 20% of non-natural fibers, then they're not gonna buy it. This one has to be my most favorite because I feel like this is something that would give us an idea as to how much we would have spent and how much we have saved just by doing this. And this is have a note section on your phone. Create a list of the product that you want, the URL link if it's online, and the price and the reasons why you want it. And then before you even purchase it, just wait like a week or two, and you can actually see how much money that you would have spent if you didn't allow yourself that time to think about it and mull over it. I actually started to do this as well. I did create like a notes section on my phone where I would actually have a table of the product that I wanted, how much it cost. After waiting a little bit before purchasing the item, I can see how much I already saved. The last one that I have is allow themselves to only purchase 25 new items throughout the entire year. I feel like this would work for some people. I know this would not work for me. I feel like some people would work really well within the lines, but for me, I feel like some things just come up and I don't want to be counting down how many items that I purchased throughout the year. But that's another idea for you to use if you want to do a low buy year. The last one that I actually don't have written in my journal is to wait 3 weeks after payday before I buy an item that I really want. And I actually get paid once per month. I have a buffer period of 1 week before I get paid before I spend money on discretionary spending. So I do have a few items that I would really love to buy. One of them being like an electric blanket because it's really cold here in Korea. Another one would be like a study pillow where anytime on my bed, but I need to work on my computer, I have a more comfortable pillow to rest on. So these are just examples of some of these silly things that I want to spend my money on, but I'm going to make sure that I wait 3 weeks before making that purchase. So I hope at this point in this video that you feel inspired to try to do a low buy challenge and to follow along with me on this journey. I'll be trying to check in with you guys about how I'm doing, my progress, where I'm failing, where I'm winning. And so feel free to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like. But I will see you in my next video, hopefully with an update on how I'm doing in my financial journey. Bye!